For cheap D2R items, visit aoeah.com. You get 3% off with the code ARIAT. Check the link in the description. Hello and welcome everybody. In Diablo 2 Resurrected, season number 10 is about to start. It's just crazy how fast the time goes. Since this is like an anniversary, I can't miss that, so I am on board again. And because the Druid did not get much of my attention in the past, I will play a doo-doo in this season. I did some pre-work and I have tested different ideas out of the box for new budget builds. So that's how I found an interesting variant to play the werewolf very cheap and strong. Let's check out the attributes and skills first. We take enough strength for the equipment. The budget build only needs 65 base points here. For the different endgame versions, we will aim for 156 strength to put CTA and Spirit Monarch in the weapon switch. Depending on the weapon, the endgame build also will need more dexterity. The budget build does not need any extra points here. So I have put the rest into vitality to maximize the life points. But you could also put about 50 points into dexterity for a better attack rating. Now the skill tree. Here we also will have different setups in the endgame depending on the weapon. With the low budget build we concentrate on the fire claws because here we can get out much damage without any good gear. So we will also need to maximize the two synergies Firestorm and Molten Boulder. I have put the remaining points into Werewolf and Lycanthropy. But what you can already keep in mind is the attack skill Fury. In several endgame variants, this will be our main attack instead of the Fire Claws. Also the elemental skills will change for some builds, so I will display further different skill trees within the video. But first about the low budget build, which already has about 7300 damage and 2400 life yet. I played the complete Nice set because the extra skill levels add a lot of damage to the Fire Claws, similar to casting skills. Staff and Chest each add +1, the complete set adds +1 to all skills again and +2 to fire skills, which also includes the Fire Claws. Further the set adds a bunch of resistances, 135% magic find, that's pretty nice for the start, and the staff also has teleport charges. I socketed a Shael rune into the weapon for more attack speed, and you can put diamonds or runes into body and helmet to increase attack rating or resistances. Both attributes can also be added by some charms in the inventory, so you can apply the values like you need. Only bad thing about this set build, since the amount of physical damage is very low, the life leech does not work efficiently yet. In the amulet slot I have put a Nokozan relic. It adds lots of fire resistance to compensate the drawback from the Thunder charm, and some faster hit recovery is useful as well. I play laying on hands for further increased fire resistance and attack speed, but you could also decide to put Lava Gout. They got less fire resistance, but increase your attack rating after the enchant has triggered. The belt is a string of ears for some physical damage reduction and life leech, and I just have put on some Gore Riders, but you don't urgently need them at the beginning. So as long as you don't have, just use anything else here. Then you should play a Ravenfrost. You don't need a perfect one of course, but you should aim for more than 200 attack rating. With the second ring, we want to get in some mana leech, and some more attack rating is welcome as well. In the inventory I have put some resistance charms and the Fire Rift. This one we need to kill fire immune monsters. Like I said, you could also add some charms with attack rating. I have hired an Act 2 mercenary with a Defiance aura. He has a Cure helmet, a Treasury armor and a pole arm with the rune word Hustle.
Too late.
Your blood will boil.
When fighting monsters, also make use of Feral Rage in between to get the speed buff. With a low budget build we can already farm many spots in Hell difficulty and also kill fire immune elite monsters kinda easy. But if the map contains too many fire immune monsters, the wolf won't kill fast enough and suffers from the low damage reduction and the bad life leech. So the Chaos Sanctuary sadly is no place to go with the set build yet. That's why I recommend to upgrade your setup as soon as possible and play an Obedience weapon. It reduces the monster's fire resistances by 25% and it also adds much more physical damage to your attacks. Fortunately the rune word is very cheap and the damage roll is fixed, so you will always get 370% enhanced damage. For head and chest you can go for Kira's Guardian and a Shaft Stop armor. Like that you can easily replace the missing resistances from the set and triple your physical resistance. We play the same skill tree here, but if you like, you also could put 1 or more points into Fury yet. This second budget version is a lot stronger yet, and you can now also farm the Chaos Sanctuary. You also will need less potions because of the additional damage reduction, and also the life leech works better now. But you still got one drawback here: you need to skill many points into strength and dexterity, so there are less points in vitality, and you will miss the skill levels from the set. Both leads to the fact that you will have less life points here. But this will get better when you further upgrade your gear. Torch and Annie will save many attribute points, and you will get further stats, skills and life points by new items and charms. In the endgame, you will add Torch and Annie, as well as CTA and Spirit of course. The best amulet is High Lords, and we wanna play a dual leecher with attack rating and other nice stats. Then you should aim for a good Metamorphosis helmet. Since we also have 1 point in Werebear, we can just shapeshift into a bear in between to get both buffs. In the chest slot we prefer a 40, it increases the physical damage and adds life and resistances. We could tend to play Draculs or Steel Rend, but it's also no shame to still play laying on hands in the endgame. We also still play String of Ears, Ravenfrost and Gore Riders, but you could also put on War Travelers for some more magic find. We wanna add some skill charms to the inventory. At first blank ones will do fine, later on you will prefer some with life on them. The mercenary gets the Chains of Honor. Now we come to the most spectacular part of the video, because there are many different weapons we can specialize for in the endgame. As you can see, I have prepared lots of stuff, and since the skill setting changes with some of the weapons, I will display the skill trees just as promised. Of course, there are some gameplay clips for every example as well. Let's start with the weapon that uses the Fire Claw skill setting we know yet, Infinity. It has less physical damage than Obedience, but it adds 40% chance of crushing blow and the Conviction aura, which not only empowers the fire damage we deal to enemies, but also shrinks their defense value. Further, Infinity adds movement speed, vitality and some magic find.
I can't carry anymore. I can't carry anymore.
Now we have a rune word that you maybe have built into a shield yet, but not into a pole arm. It is Phoenix. The weapon damage is about as high as with Obedience, and so is the reduce for the enemy's fire resistance. Phoenix also adds the Redemption aura, which shields our life and mana from corpses, and 20% chance of deadly strike. Additionally, Phoenix adds level 22 firestorms to our attacks. Therefore we skill the two synergies Molten Boulder and Fissure here. Like that, we got some area damage for trash mobs, and the fire damage also is high enough to burn down physically immune monsters. In this variant, our main attack is Fury, so we put 20 points here. The Fire Claws only get 1 point, you will only use them for physically immune monsters, which are also very resistant to fire.
I can't carry anymore. I can't.
I shall keep my end of Baal's bargain.
Another extraordinary way to play is the runeword Destruction. Here we got the chance to cast Molten Boulders and Volcanoes on our attacks. Therefore we want to skill Fury and some synergies for the two fire skills we trigger. Here it becomes tricky, because Molten Boulder and Volcano have completely different synergies. Now there are the following options. Number 1. You concentrate on only one of the fire skills. Like that you will have enough points left for Werewolf and Lycanthropy. With the Molten Boulder it's kinda easy, because it only has two synergies, Volcano and Firestorm. Volcano on the other hand has three synergies, Molten Boulder, Fissure and Armageddon. Of course you could just maximize all three and put fewer points into the shapeshifting skills. Or you just maximize Molten Boulder as it adds 16% per point, and Armageddon because it's more useful to have than the Fissure. Number 2. You increase both fire skills, but only with their strongest synergy each. So that means for the Volcano we put 20 points into Molten Boulder, and for the Molten Boulder we put 20 points into Volcano. And the third possibility, we only play a minimum of shapeshifting skills, so 1 point each in Fury, Werewolf and Lycanthropy, to increase all 5 fire skills in the elemental tree. Like that, both fire skills we cast on our attacks get maximum damage, but we do less physical damage and have less life and attack speed. If you decide to play the Rune Word Destruction, feel free to try out all different options by yourself, but I guess the most efficient one is number 2. That's also what I play in the example. We also should not forget, the Rune Word adds 20% chance of each, Deadly Strike and Crushing Blow.
It's locked.
A very unorthodox way is the Rune Word Doom, as it reduces the enemy's cold resistance, not the fire resistance. The Holy Frost aura can be useful anyway, if you wanna slow enemies or let them leave no corpse after dying. Here we also have 20% Deadly Strike and 25% Open Wounds, and this weapon again casts Volcanoes. So in the tree we skill our 3 shapeshifting skills, plus some synergies to Volcano. Decide yourself about the exact distribution.
Thanks.
I shall keep my end of Baal's bargain.
Finally, I also prepared 3 weapons which concentrate on high physical damage only and don't have any elemental effects on them. In that case, I recommend to max out Fury, Lycanthropy and Werewolf, and then put the remaining points into Fireclaws and one of its synergies. Like that, you will only use the Fireclaws for physically immune monsters. Popular weapons for this variant are Ribcracker, the Reaper's Toll and Tomb Reaver. Ribcracker is the budget variant here. You can already drop it in Nightmare, and after upgrading it has some nice damage values. especially when talking about the minimum damage. It also has 50% chance of deadly strike, so every second strike deals double damage.
I can't carry anymore.
The Reaper's Tall has a bit less weapon damage, but it curses the Creepify on striking, which slows enemies and increases the damage they take. Additionally, it has Deadly Strike and Life Leech on it, and I socketed a Bear Rune for Crushing Blow. Like that, it is a useful weapon for Übertristram. Tomb Reaver has lots of damage, resistances, magic find and up to 3 open sockets. So most popular are ethereal ones with a Zod rune and 2 attack speed damage jewels. This weapon is great to max out your physical damage. You only will get higher with some super rare ethereal yellow weapons with the right affixes on them. When playing a build focusing on the physical damage, it is more efficient to play max AR life charms instead of skillers, and of course you don't need the Thunder Charm here. I am looking forward to the new season playing my wolf. For today I say goodbye, take care and may the loot be with you.
Follow me.
Not even death can save you from me.
Come on. Thank you. Goodbye.